What makes a leader unforgettable? Is it their policies, their charisma, or the controversies that follow them long after they've left office? Few figures in modern French history embody all three like Nicolas Sarkozy, a man whose life reads like a political thriller, blending ambition, resilience, and relentless drive. Sarkozy's story begins not in a palace, but in a modest Parisian household. Born on January 28, 1955, Nicolas Paul Stéphane Sarkozy de Naibocha came into a world still healing from the scars of World War II. His father, Paul Sarkozy de Naibocha, was a Hungarian immigrant of aristocratic descent who fled his homeland after the Soviet invasion. His mother, André Mala, came from a family of Greek and Jewish origins, a lineage that added layers of cultural complexity to Sarkozy's identity. Nicolas's upbringing was shaped by the dissolution of his parents' marriage. When he was 5, his father abandoned the family, leaving André to raise Nicolas and his 2 brothers largely on her own. The absence of a paternal figure left a mark on young Nicolas, instilling a sense of determination to prove himself. He has often recalled his deep admiration for his mother's resilience and work ethic, which he later mirrored in his political career. Sarkozy's path to power was unconventional. In school, he was not regarded as an exceptional student. Unlike many French leaders who attended the prestigious École Nationale d'Administration (ENA), Sarkozy pursued law and business. He earned a master's degree in private law and studied at the Institut d'études politiques de Paris, Sciences Po, but his journey there was rocky. Despite failing to graduate from Sciences Po due to his weak command of the English language, Sarkozy's ambition never wavered. His real education took place outside the classroom, in the political trenches. At just 19 years old, he joined the right-wing Gaullist Party, the Union of Democrats for the Republic, UDR, immersing himself in grassroots politics. In 1983, at the age of 28, Sarkozy became the youngest mayor in France when he was elected to lead Neuilly-sur-Seine, one of the wealthiest suburbs of Paris. His victory was no small feat. He faced seasoned competitors, but won by positioning himself as a pragmatic, hands-on leader. During his nearly 2-decade tenure as mayor, Sarkozy cultivated relationships with France's elite, including businessmen and media moguls, but solidifying his reputation as a rising star within the center-right political sphere. His leadership in Neuilly-sur-Seine became a springboard to national politics. By the mid-1990s, Sarkozy's influence was undeniable. He became the Minister of Budget in Édouard Balladeur's government from 1993 to 1995. He threw his support behind Balladur during the 1995 presidential race, a move that put him at odds with Jacques Chirac, Balladur's rival and ultimate victor. This miscalculation temporarily sidelined Sarkozy, but his political acumen ensured his return to prominence. Sarkozy's comeback began in 2002 when Jacques Chirac appointed him Minister of the Interior under Prime Minister Jean-Pierre Raffarin. In this role, Sarkozy became a household name. His tough stance on crime, immigration, and domestic security resonated with voters who saw him as a no-nonsense politician. Nicknamed the Cop of France, Sarkozy launched high-profile crackdowns on delinquency, earning praise and criticism alike. His bold, often aggressive approach marked a shift from the more reserved style of previous leaders. By 2007, Sarkozy's eyes were set firmly on the highest office in the land. Running on promises of economic reform, reduced unemployment, and tighter immigration policies, he presented himself as the candidate of action and change. Sarkozy's energetic, media-savvy campaign contrasted sharply with his opponents. His fiery speeches and dynamic public persona struck a chord with the electorate, and on May 6, 2007, Nicolas Sarkozy was elected the 23rd president of France. Sarkozy's presidency was marked by significant reforms, both at home and abroad. His economic policies aimed to modernize the French labor market and reduce public spending. However, the global financial crisis of 2008 cast a shadow over his presidency, forcing Sarkozy to pivot from reform to crisis management. Internationally, Sarkozy took an active role in global diplomacy. He was a key player in negotiating the financial rescue packages for European nations during the Eurozone crisis and played a prominent role in military interventions in Libya and Georgia. His leadership style, often described as hyper-presidential, drew mixed reactions. Supporters praised his dynamism and willingness to confront difficult issues head-on. Critics, however, viewed him as divisive and overly focused on media image, dubbing his term the bling-bling presidency due to his lavish lifestyle.
A new political era for France. François Hollande elected president. After 17 years, the country has a staunchly socialist leader, promising change and a new direction away from austerity.
Je mesure aussi que l'Europe nous regarde.
Europe is looking at us. And when the result was made public, I'm sure that in many countries in Europe, it was relief, hope, the idea that at last austerity would no longer be seen as unavoidable.
After losing his bid for re-election in 2012 to François Hollande, Sarkozy stepped away from politics, but not for long. In 2014, he returned to lead the Union for a Popular Movement, UMP, later renamed Les Républicains. Though his attempt to reclaim the presidency in 2017 ended unsuccessfully, Sarkozy remained a key figure in conservative circles. However, his post-presidential years have been overshadowed by a series of legal challenges, culminating in a landmark corruption case that has gripped the French public.
Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy has been placed under formal investigation by magistrates in Paris on suspicion of influence peddling and other crimes related to his 2007 election campaign. This is the first time that a French head of state has been held in police custody. Under French law, being placed under formal investigation means there exists serious or consistent evidence pointing to probable implication of a suspect in a crime. Sarkozy's lawyer Thierry Herzog and Judge Gilbert Assibert are also under formal investigation. The inquiry began when judges looked into claims that the former president of France from 2007 to 2012 received illegal funding from former Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi.
The roots of this scandal trace back to 2014, when investigators began wiretapping Sarkozy's conversations as part of an inquiry into alleged illegal campaign financing. These wiretaps revealed discussions between Sarkozy and his lawyer, Thierry Herzog, suggesting attempts to bribe a high-ranking magistrate, Gilbert Azibert, in exchange for confidential information about ongoing investigations. In 2021, Sarkozy was convicted of corruption and influence peddling, receiving a 3-year prison sentence with 2 years suspended. He was also banned from holding public office for 3 years. Sarkozy vehemently denied the charges, appealing the verdict and maintaining his innocence throughout the legal proceedings. On December 18, 2024, France's highest court, the Cour de Cassation, upheld Sarkozy's conviction, making the sentence definitive. The court confirmed that Sarkozy attempted to use his influence to secure a prestigious position for Judge Azibert in Monaco in return for insider information about a separate legal case concerning him. As a result of the upheld conviction, Sarkozy is required to serve a 1-year prison sentence. Given the nature of the sentence, he is expected to serve it under house arrest, monitored by an electronic bracelet, a first for a former French head of state. This arrangement allows him to avoid incarceration while ensuring compliance with the court's ruling. Sarkozy's legal team has announced plans to appeal to the European Court of Human Rights, arguing that his right to a fair trial was compromised. They contend that the use of wiretap conversations between a lawyer and his client infringes upon the confidentiality of legal counsel. Public opinion in France remains divided. Supporters view Sarkozy as a victim of judicial overreach, while critics see the conviction as a necessary affirmation of the rule of law, demonstrating that no one is above accountability. Beyond this case, Sarkozy faces additional legal challenges. In January 2025, he is scheduled to stand trial over allegations of illegal financing of his 2007 presidential campaign, purportedly involving funds from the Libyan government. These forthcoming proceedings suggest that Sarkozy's legal battles are far from over. Nicolas Sarkozy's journey from the Élysée Palace to the courtroom underscores the complexities of power, influence, and justice in modern democracy. As he continues to navigate these legal challenges, the implications for French politics and the precedent set for future leaders remain profound. How does a former president, once at the pinnacle of power, find himself entangled in legal battles that captivate a nation? Nicolas Sarkozy's impact on French politics is undeniable. He reshaped the landscape of the French right, introduced tough immigration laws, and left a mark on foreign policy. His resilience in the face of challenges, both political and personal, has cemented his status as one of France's most polarizing leaders. I hope you learned something new today. If so, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. What do you think about the situation? Is Nicolas Sarkozy really guilty? Let me know in the comments section.